Hi guys, welcome to, let me just fix that, welcome to another beer review, and you join me in the waiting room of a brothel, apparently. I don't know why people would ever actually seriously buy leopard print in any way, shape or form when you're not trying to be ironic. It just doesn't make any sense. It's so, I don't know, so tacky. I just don't like leopard skin, but I thought it would make for an interesting backdrop, and then clearly incomplete. But yeah, so we're going over to Northern Monk, and we're looking at the Campfire Strannik, which is a marshmallow stout. Already in a glass because I ran out of space on my iPhone. Haven't tasted it yet, but I have given it a sniff. I'm talking about the beer, not my experience in the brothel so far. Terrible joke, but I'm going to carry on rolling. And I look like a sort of like a West Ham or Aston Villa supporter with the combination I've got going right now. There we go, that's better. That just looks twatty. Anyway, not that it matters because I am a bit of a twat, let's be honest. But yeah, so we've got the Campfire Strannik clocking in at 10%, limited release from Northern Monk. I've really enjoyed their dark beers. I really have. The ones that I have had. Fantastic little brewery. I say little, they're probably one of the biggest like independent craft breweries in the UK. And yeah, so this is 10%, and it's brewed with water, oats, hops, malted barley, yeast, lactose, marshmallow. So there's actual marshmallow in there, and Fringe Vertinal can pick this up from Northern Beer Temple in Wigan. Fantastic bottle shop. So glad that I've got a place it's about a half an hour bus ride for me, but I've got a place to go to buy beer. Even though, yeah, I do like to go to Manchester as much as possible, but it's good to know that I've got a good local selection, and highly recommended. But yeah, so the beer's already in the glass, and as you see, it doesn't really pour too gloopy or like an oil slick, but at the same time, not every Imperial Stout has to be like that. Do you know what I mean? It's a tiny little thing, but it's refreshing to see that. But yeah, anyway, beer in a glass, and that is like, to me, jet black almost. Maybe like almost a scorched oak, maybe, which would just be black. See, you come up with absolute pretentious nonsense when you're reviewing beers. But yeah, it's dark. You know, it's black as night, especially on camera. And the beer poured with about a lacing of mocha head, but you can see the alcohol legs stick into that glass. Looks really damn good, so let's give it a sniff. At first, when I first sniffed it, you didn't really pick up that marshmallow character, but now that it's settled in the glass for a few minutes, that's coming through, but it almost smells like a tart berry character, like a tart cherry almost. The one thing that it does remind me of, it reminds me of when I was in Germany, and you go to like the Christmas festivals, and they've got well, you can buy them in the supermarket. So we've got stuff here in the UK like the little tea cakes. You know, it's marshmallow, got like a sponge, biscuity base, and then there's chocolate around it. But this reminds me on the aroma of ones that you can get in Germany, and they're called, I can't say the name on camera because it is an actual racial term, but you know, it's black, it's circular. This is literally what it is. It's, but with a racial term. Do I really need to spell it out? I'm not PewDiePie, but yeah, but it's not like meant in an offensive way or anything like that. What the fuck am I talking about? Why am I talking about this on a beer review? Anyway, it reminds me of those. It's got that sort of like cheap marshmallow character, which marshmallows, it's cheap anyway. You know, it's not like a luxurious piece of confectionery, is it? You know, it's just cheap stuff, full of flavourings, pretty much. But it's reminded me of like cheap chocolate confectionery that I used to have when I was a child, and it's reminded me of stuff in Germany, and I actually really like that. But I am getting a big char in there. Definitely get a coffee. I'm almost getting like a slight dandelion and burdock stroke licorice character. And dipping my nose in as well. This review's going so well. but it does smell good. It's almost got like a slight steak aroma to it. It's like a savoury edge, like big peppered steak. But it's got that char, so you kind of get that sort of like campfire element to it. I might be overly romanticising it, and it's probably just the power of suggestion with the fact that campfire is written on the can. But it is detectable. It smells really, really good. Let's give it a taste. Cheers. Oh wow. I feel like it transforms in the glass. Not really getting too much sweetness on the nose, but Jesus Christ does that marshmallow come through on the flavour. And again, and this might sound like it's a little bit of a piss take / criticism, it reminds me of like cheap chocolate with cheap marshmallow in the middle. Or like those, it's got like the cream, but it's like the two wafers, and like there's cream in the middle. That's how they're stuck together, and then it's like dipped in chocolate. It reminds me of shitty carnival / German Christmas market sweets that you pay like ridiculous amounts of money for. But there is that sort of like licorice character in there, which lends itself really nicely to that marshmallow. A little bit of a black coffee character coming through. Lovely roastiness. That slight char is there, which does actually remind me of like a seared end of a steak. But yeah, it all works really, really nicely. Really velvety, although it's got a lighter body than you would expect. If Paul was drinking this, he would instantly say, it's too thin. Let's be honest. And if you don't know who Paul is, that made no sense to you whatsoever, but hey ho. Alcohol is masked beautifully in that. You drink that, you wouldn't think it was 10%. There's not so much as a warming going down. But at the same time, I taste it and I'm getting like that slight sweet sherry, almost like raisin sherry, if that's a thing. Like raisins, like steeped raisins I'm getting in there as well. That's a wonderfully complex beer. Really tasty. Some might find it a little bit too sweet, a little bit too synthetic tasting, but I think they've achieved a really great little beer here. It would get sickly after a couple of cans, but then again, 10% ABV, it's going to get sickly anyway. But do you know what? That's lovely. Something a little bit different. I know it's like the norm now almost for Imperial Stouts to be like filled with like nut flavourings and ice cream flavourings and all this sort of stuff, but they've pretty much just added some marshmallow in there, and I'd imagine you'd have to add quite a bit of marshmallow, and that's like mixing really nicely with the oats. Is the lactose in here? Because I definitely get that feel of lactose, yeah, and almost that lactose adds a very slight tartness, which almost reminds me of like flavoured marshmallow. Really sticky lips as I'm talking. The warmth is slightly coming in now, but that's such a pleasurable experience, and yeah, I think that's an absolutely lovely beer. Another great job from Northern Monk. So in terms of a rating for the Campfire Strannik, I'm going to give that a very solid 8.5 out of 10. I personally would like maybe a little bit more body to it, maybe a little bit more roastiness to cut through that marshmallow, but at the same time, then it would just be, you know, like any other, you know, Imperial Stout with slight flavourings. You know, if they've called it a marshmallow stout, you want it to taste like marshmallow. So in terms of style, they've nailed it because there's smokiness in there. It reminds you of sitting in a campfire, not in a campfire. That was a horrible summer. But it reminds me of like sitting around a campfire. You've got your mates around, fully grown men, all sat around together in their underwear around a campfire with marshmallows on sticks, shooting the shit, talking about women. You know, we've all been there. Anyway, yeah, so 8.5 out of 10. This was a terrible attempt at me trying to be funny on camera. I shouldn't do this ever again. Maybe I should stop reviewing all in all, because I'm just not that good at it. But yeah, if you've tried this, then let me know your thoughts, opinions down below. If you've tried anything like this, then feel free to let me know any recommendations. Are you a fan of the brewery? Again, recommendations of some of your favourite beers, light or dark, doesn't really matter. I'm all inclusive on the Clueless Drinker channel. And yeah, if any of my friends and fellow beer tubers have reviewed it, then their links will be down below. Check out Northern Monk, check out my Stout playlist. I think I've got a few beers from Northern Monk on YouTube, so if I've got enough, I'll put that playlist down below. And of course, check out the Northern Beer Temple, especially if you're in the Wigan area. Because, you know, you get good pies, you get good beers. What more do you need? Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I shall hopefully see you all later. Cheers, guys.